Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Linux Essentials course. In this video, we are going to learn about the Linux directory structure. Our main motive is all about Linux Essentials, so understanding the Linux directory is of much importance. Even though we are not going to cover everything in detail, but slight idea about what each directory does not do harm. Alright, since our course is all on Linux Essentials, hence we have to grind our way through the Linux directory structure. I swear I'm not going to keep it long. I'm going to explain it in very brief and in a very concise manner. So let's begin. So in the previous video, I told you to download a Linux distro of your own choice. Here you go. I have Parrot operating system right there. I have logged in as the user named OS Boxes because that's the way it came deployed when I downloaded it from OS Boxes website. It had a pre-configured user known as OS Boxes. So here you go, I'm OS Boxes, I'm a user and I have logged into my desktop. Now, you can navigate through the folders or directories in two different ways. One is through the GUI method, that is graphical user interface, which includes moving your mouse, hovering over the folder, double click on it and it will open up the folder. Pretty simple. But the second and the easiest way, and the one that I use a lot and I will recommend you, is to use the CLI method, which is command line interface method, which includes opening up a terminal like this one. In my case, it's a Parrot terminal. And let me zoom that a bit. So this is a terminal and we can access the directories via this terminal as well. All right, just a quickie. Let's understand what a terminal is. Basically, a terminal or a shell is an interface or an endpoint through which you can pass commands and the operating system will follow or try to execute those commands. Just like in Windows, we have command prompt and in Mac, we have terminal. Even Linux has its own terminal and it's called the shell. All right, so let's just dissect this shell into different parts. What you see right over here is the user who is running the shell. In my case, I'm OS Boxes and this is the terminal name or shell name. As you can see, this is Parrot terminal, so it is Parrot. And this particular symbol or whatever comes in here will tell you the current directory that you're working in. That this tilde symbol says that I am in home/user directory. So if I do pwd, which this command stands for print the working directory, as you can see, it is home/OS Boxes. I'll come to the directory structure in a moment, but it was important for you to understand the anatomy of a terminal. So this stands for the username, this is the terminal name, and this is the current working directory that you are situated right now. All right, let me clear the screen. So just like everything has a base directory, Linux also has its own base directory, and beyond this directory there is nothing. And that base directory is the /1. So if I type cd space /, well, cd stands for change directory. Now if I hit enter, see, as the symbol changes from tilde to this /, this means that I am situated at /. That is a base directory. Now if I type pwd, hit enter, as you can see, /, that means I'm at the base directory. Now let me hit ls. ls means list the contents of that particular directory. It's just like when you double click on that folder, it opens up and show the contents of the folder. Similar way, if you type ls, it will show the contents of the folder or directory. So now if I hit ls, it will show you the contents of the directory, and these are all the files and folders inside the directory / or the base directory. Okay, so now let's understand each directory one by one. Well, before I move on, let me show you one more thing. We navigated till here by typing cd space /, right? Let's navigate it via the GUI method. That is using your mouse pointer and navigating it to Parrot and then going to file system. Now, as you can see, this right over here says / and these are all the folders or file contents present inside this particular / directory. And if you were to compare this particular interface with our shell, it is pretty much the same. Just look at it. Bin can also be found here, bin. Then we have dev, we can also be found here. Home can be found here. So as you can see, you can navigate through the shell via GUI method as well, but shell is the preferred method and we will be using only shell. So let's just cross it and we are only interested in shell. Let's zoom it up and then let's identify what each directory stands for. All right. So as I said earlier, this / is the base directory and beyond this directory, there is no directory. Implies this does not have any parent directory. Everything starts from the / directory. All right, now let's identify what each folder does. remember that every one of them is not folders, some of them are files, and I'll tell you which of them are files as I move on. But we are only interested in important folders, which are really crucial for our understanding. That's why I said I'll make it really brief and I won't explain each and every one of them. So the first one that we're going to understand is the bin folder, bin directory. So when I say directory, I mean folder. I'll use folder and directory interchangeably, so don't confuse. Both of them are the same. So when I type cd space bin, so it's basically saying I want to change the directory from / to bin directory. And remember, this is a relative path. Relative path, see, there are two ways in which you can pass path. One is absolute and relative. If it was an absolute path, I will type cd space / saying I need to first go to the root folder and then I need to navigate to the bin folder. That is the absolute path. But relative path is like from the current directory, if that particular folder or directory is present, then you can switch. For example, I'm in / and inside that itself there is bin. So I just need to directly type bin. So now if I hit enter, now I'm inside bin. Now let me list the contents. So how do you list the contents? You type ls, and if I hit enter, boom, these are all the files present inside the bin folder. All right, bin directory. Now what we're going to do, we're going to understand what bin directory is. So basically, any system related executable files are stored inside bin. For example, ls command that we just executed, right? System execution command, and it will be found in bin. So if I go up, I'll certainly find the ls command somewhere. There you go. There is the ls command. So majority of the system executable commands can be found here. We also executed the pwd, right? So if what is pwd? It's gonna show you the present working directory. Now if I hit enter, as you can see, I am in /bin. /bin is the absolute path, saying first you need to navigate to / that is a base folder, then you need to go to the bin folder. All right, now if you were to search for pwd inside bin folder, you will find it because it's a system executable command. Remember, most of the commands can be found here, not all of them. Like cd cannot be found. I tried it earlier, but I couldn't find it. If you type pwd and if you were to search for it, there you go, pwd exists. All right, so that was pwd. Let me clear the screen, it's getting messy. So that was the bin folder. So now if I type pwd, I'm inside bin. I need to go navigate back, right? Because if I hit ls, it will show the contents of bin folder. But no, I need to know the contents of the base or root folder. So if I want to navigate back, there are two ways. First one is to type cd space .. This .. means I need to navigate one step back. And if I were to navigate all the back to the base folder, I would type / cd space /. So wherever you may be, in whichever directory you may be, if you want to directly traverse all the way back to the base folder, you will type cd space /. And now if I hit enter, you are now at the base folder. All right, let me explain it with one more concept. Let me just directly navigate to some random folder. All right, so we are now in this particular folder /opt/tryhackme. So now if I want to go back to /, that is a base folder, I'll type cd space /. Now if I hit enter, there you go, it has been now changed to the base directory. Let me tell you one more concept, it is really important. Let me issue the command again. Yeah, one more thing, you can navigate through the history by pressing up arrow and down arrow key, and it will navigate through the history of commands. All right, now this is the command I need to issue again. Now if I hit enter, as you can see, the directory changed from base directory to opt/tryhackme directory. Now if I just needed to go one directory back, I'll type cd space .. And if I needed to go two directories back, I'll type cd space .. And if I wanted to go three directory backs, I'll type cd space .. All right, so that's how you move back one directory at a time. So now if I wanted to move to the opt directory from tryhackme, I'll type cd space .. Now if I hit enter, now I'm in opt. Now if I want to go to the base folder, you can either type cd space / or you can just type cd space .. and it will take you to the root folder or the base folder. Now if I hit enter, and now I'm at the base folder. Now let me list the contents. So that was the bin folder. Now we are going to learn about the dev directory. The dev directory contains the device files. All right, there are various devices that run on this Linux. Let me show you by visiting the dev folder. So in order to visit the dev folder, you type cd space dev. Now if I hit ls, as you can see, CD-ROM is a device. All right, you will be able to identify the disk, DVD. So you got an idea of what I'm talking about when I talk about the dev directory. Now dev is really important for programmers, because there is something known as, if you used to program in Linux, we used to do this kind of stuff. If you have some errors, like let me say echo error, don't worry about what I'm doing here. And if I wanted to if I wanted this error not to be shown to the screen, I would have done something like this. All right, now if I hit enter, boom, there is that error. So this is one special file. This is known as the Sudo device file, and it is inside this. You cannot see it right over here because I issued the ls command. If I wanted to see all the hidden files as well, I'll type ls space -a. Now if it will show you all the hidden directories and folders and files present inside. And if I were to navigate through here, I'll find the null. There you go. So this is a Sudo device file, implies this is not a real actual file. And what this null will do is it will take anything as the input, and basically it will just destroy it. All right, it will not be kept inside the Linux system. It basically works like a recycle bin in Windows. So that was a dev folder. Now I'm going to go back to the base folder, list the contents. Now we are going to discuss the home directory. Well, as I said earlier, I logged into this parent operating system as the OS boxes user. So just like Windows have users, Mac OS have users, Linux also have users. And Linux is a multi-user operating system, implies if Linux is running as a main system, then there can be multiple users who can access the system at the same time, modify the contents, make changes, and then exit out of it or log out of it. So that's the concept of multi-user. So where are all these users stored? Well, the files of these users are stored inside the home directory. So if I were to navigate cd space /home, and if I hit enter, now if list the contents, as you can see 3 folders. Forget about lost plus found. This contains the recovery files. So apart from lost plus found, there are 2 directories. One is the OS boxes and the other one is pranav. So you can identify how many users exist inside this particular operating system. You guessed it right. There are 2. One is OS boxes and the other one is pranav. Well, there is a third special user as well, and he is known as the root or the administrator. If you were to take a close look here, you will find root, and this is the administrative user. I'll come to root when I'll reach that particular folder. But right now we are only discussing about the users. So OS boxes is a user and pranav is a user. And if I were to navigate to say OS boxes and hit the ls command, there you go. You see desktop, documents, downloads. Doesn't it look familiar? It looks just like we have in our Windows or Mac OS. Just like we have desktop and documents, well, Linux also has the same stuff. Now, one more thing that you need to keep in mind is when I navigated to /home, then the user, look at how this particular symbol changed. It changed from /home, whatever it is, whatever the text is, and it changed it to the tilde symbol. So what does that mean? So if you are a user, suppose your username is Alex, and you were to visit the folder /home/Alex, then this particular symbol will be shown in your case, because it says this is your folder, this is your directory, this is a directory that you own. And if you want to navigate every time back to this particular directory, you have to type cd space, as simple as that. Let me show you what I mean by this. If I go to cd/opt/tryhackme, this is some random file. All right, now if I hit ls, as you can see, these are all the files present inside tryhackme. Now if I were to navigate the users base folder, all right, don't confuse with the global base folder. I'm talking about the users base folder, that is /home/OS boxes, or you can see the users directory. Now if I hit enter, there you go, the symbol changed from here /opt/tryhackme to this particular tilde symbol, tilde, whatever you want to call it. Now if I hit ls, boom, it's the same as this run right over here. All right, so you might ask, what if I visit pranav's directory? Will it be the same as this symbol? Well, obviously not, because I'm not pranav user, I'm OS boxes, and if I visit pranav's directory, /home/pranav would be shown rather than this tilde symbol. Let me switch. Yeah, here now I'll be using a global path. The reason is because if I hit ls, you cannot find pranav's directory, right over here. You cannot find pranav in anywhere. Pranav is situated 1 folder back, as you see here. I'm 1 folder back, and then pranav folders exist. So either way, there are 2 ways I can reach pranav. One is typing like this, cd space /, So that means now I'm one folder back, and then I'll type pranav. Or there is one more way. I can specify the global absolute path. I'll type c space /home/pranav. And if I hit enter, boom, I'm inside home pranav. Alright, now let me go back to the base directory, hit ls. Now this is a file and we're not interested in it. We're not interested in these two as well. Now media, just as the name suggests, this contains media files, just like we have USB drives, CD-ROMs and hard disks. You can find them here as well. So this will contain media related files. Let's go back to the root directory. Now we come to the OPT folder or directory. OPT directory is basically used to store optional contents. You can store anything inside OPT. It just doesn't really matter what you're storing. You can store any particular stuff. So that was about OPT. Now we come to the root folder. Root folder can only be accessed by the administrator or equivalent users having administrative rights. I will come to access controls when I take up that topic. But right now, just remember that just like in Windows, a normal users cannot access administrative rights. Similarly, an administrative account can only be accessed by administrative user. So here, normally a root is an administrative user. And basically, I can show you how an administrative root user look. As you can see, now it's OS boxes. Now let me elevate my privileges. So I will type sudo su and then provide the password. Now as you can see, the name changed from OS boxes to a bright red root. So that means root is an administrator. You have noticed one more stuff. Look at this dollar symbol. This dollar symbol has been now changed to hash. When you get a hashtag symbol shell, it particularly means that you have administrative rights and you can run any command you like. So that was the root user. Let me go back to the base folder, hit ls. Now we're going to learn about user. Well, the user directory contains applications or files used by the user as opposed to the application or files used by the system. As simple as that. Then we have boot. Well, as the name suggests, these contains files that are used when Linux kernel boots up. So now we are going to take a look at the lib folder. Well, the lib folder of the lib directory, where the lib directory stores the essential shared libraries or shared files that are used by bin folder and the sbin folder. Okay, so sbin is basically, as I told, bin contains executable file that can be accessed by user and even the system, and sbin contains the system executable files. All right, so that's the major difference. Bin can be accessed by anyone, but sbin contains system executable file, and this can only be used by a person who have administrative access. Now we have lost plus found. Well, that's basically, as I told you earlier, it contains recovery related files. Then we have mnt. Well, it contains temporary mount points. Well, I don't even know what that means, but just for your information, mnt contains temporary mount points. Okay, now contains proc. You can call it proc or pros, it's up to you, because basically proc or pros is short form for process, and as the name suggests, it contains processing file. Now we have run. Okay, well, run folder stores all the dynamic files and folders that are created by the application or the system when it runs. Now let's talk about, we have completed sbin. The srv folder, it just stores the data for the services that the system provides. Now the temp or the temporary folder or temporary directory obviously store temporary files, just like we have in Windows. If I navigate to cd space temp and if I hit ls, so as you can see, these are all the temporary files which are stored, and when you reboot operating system, these old files will be destroyed. So what all you store in temp, when you reboot your Linux kernel, it will be destroyed. Now comes the var directory. Well, var directory, as the name stands, it contains variable data or folders which are dynamic in nature. For example, the log file. If you were to cd into var and if I hit ls, you can find the log file, and inside the log file you will contain the logs of the system. We have got backup. So these are all variable folders which change from time to time. We have www. So if you were to host a website, you will go to www. If I were to navigate www and if I hit ls, and you will host inside HTML. If you host some pages, then it can be accessed via the local host. All right, and you can start the Apache server and you can access what all it is inside the HTML folder. So guys, that was it all about the Linux directory structure. From the next video onwards, we are going to learn about the commands, cd, and its related counterparts. So I'll see you in the next video.